Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, we're going to be working with single stick, okay? The first thing is we're going to be doing diagonal, diagonal, right? So 1 and 2. So you're making an X pattern, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is an X, but then you want to smooth it out to where it becomes a sideways figure 8. This is now an infinity sign, right? And the important thing about this is I'm not standing square and doing this. I am bladed, and then from here, the infinity sign, the sideways figure 8 that I'm making, is based off of my front leg, okay? The reason is because I don't want to hit my legs. If I change to a machete, and I start swinging it around like this, I want to make sure that I am clear over here. I don't want to hit my thigh or my knee or my calf. And same with this way. When I come at this angle, I want to make sure I don't hit the back leg and that I am totally clear of that. So the next thing is, this is my number 1 and my number 2. The angle is important here, okay? This based off of my front leg, all right? And once again, that is to make sure that I have a safe path. Now, as I do this, right here, my number 1 and then my number 2, my number 1 strike becomes my cue, okay? So right here, when I do number 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. When I go to number 1, that is when I can switch to a vertical figure 8. So now let's practice the vertical figure 8. The vertical figure 8, we're going to come down here, diagonal down to this side, diagonal back up, and then to the other side. Let me actually go to a training knife because I think it's visually easier for you guys to see. So diagonal down, side, diagonal back up, and then side. And that creates a rudimentary figure 8, a normal vertical figure 8. So diagonal down, side, diagonal back up, and then side. It is an X, okay? But diagonal downwards, side, diagonal back up to make that X, and then here. Now we start to round it out. Diagonal down, and then rather than side, it's a curve, diagonal back up, curve. Diagonal down, curve, diagonal back up, curve, okay? So when we go to the stick, it's the same thing. So diagonal down, curve, diagonal back up, and then diagonal down, curve, diagonal back up. Here's the curve, diagonal down. So you smooth it out, and this is your vertical figure 8. Now, we go back to the infinity sign, which is a horizontal figure 8. Like I said, when you do your number 1 strike right here, this is your cue to where you can now link that with the vertical figure 8. Why? Because they both use this angle right here, this number 1 diagonal downwards angle. So when I'm going number 1 and number 2 for the infinity sign, so this is a horizontal figure 8, when I go 1 right here, I can easily switch it to a vertical figure 8 right here. And when I go back down, I can now switch that into the infinity sign once again. And right here, boom, back to vertical figure 8, back to infinity sign, back to vertical figure 8, back to infinity sign, back to vertical figure 8. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.